Hello, everyone. This is Tom, the Lone Wolf Prepper. It's July 2nd, 2024. And I want to do a video this evening about a comment I received on one of my shorts. The short was, we have the ability to speak and express ourselves. That's because we have the right to be heard, even if you don't like what they have to say, or something to that effect. And I got a comment that said, you have the right to speak, but you don't have the right to be heard. Okay, well, I'm going to give you my opinion on this statement, this comment, to where I say they're wrong. Okay, imagine years past in the towns where they had the town squares and people were allowed to give speeches. You know, politicians would get up there in the gazebos they had, the big gazebos they had and stuff, and give speeches. And, you know, you were allowed to give your opinion about the community at that. Okay, everybody was allowed, had the right to be heard. Okay, now imagine going to a city, or we'll fast forward. Okay, that was a city park years ago. The town square. People got together when they had town picnics and stuff, and people were allowed to be heard. A lot of speeches were given by everybody. Okay, even the drunk was allowed to come there and be heard in the town. Okay, let's fast forward to today. All right, the town square now is social media platforms. Okay, so let's picture social media platforms as the town square. And everybody, they're going to have a town picnic. And people are going to be able to get up there and have the right to speak. Okay? The right to speak. But when they get there, they see something odd. There's a place for a person to speak that's got a microphone and big speakers, and you know, where everybody can hear them. And then on the other side of the gazebo, they got this thing that looks like a telephone booth, and you know, you're allowed to, and they shut the door and stuff, and they got it soundproof wall so nobody can hear you, but you're allowed to go in there and speak. Okay, you have the right to speak, but you're not being heard. Okay, and this park, that this town square we're going to, is the YouTube town square. Okay, all these bugs. I got so much mice that the bugs are just crazy. By the way, so we're going to YouTube town square, and they got these two places, somewhere where somebody can be heard all over the city, and then this place where somebody can speak, but the only one that can hear him is himself. Okay. Now, YouTube gets to pick who gets to go to what position. Do you understand? The right to speak. You also have the right to be heard. We all should be on an equal playing field. Okay? The thing is, you're not required to listen. That's the difference. You are not required there to sit there and listen to what they have to say. Basically, they can't put you in a re-education camp and pound communist principles into your head until you finally stand up like John Candy and volunteers and become a true communist. So you don't have to listen, but I have the right to be heard. But what's YouTube doing? YouTube is putting people like me in the phone booth. And then what happened? People still started watching just that person in the phone booth. I guess he was so passionate about what he did, and just they could understand what he was saying by reading his lips. He made so much sense that people still wanted to go to that and listen to that. So what they do? They blacked out the windows, so they couldn't even see the person. But they were still allowed to speak. And then the powers that be decided to put their political rivals in that same phone booth with the darkened windows and the soundproof walls. You take away our freedom to be heard, the freedom of speech doesn't matter. Okay? But that's the analogy of it. You know, and that's what these other, the liberal medias, they want to shut up. Why don't you just turn us off? I'm not telling them to shut you up. I actually listen to some of you guys. It's hard sometimes, but I see you're passionate and you're drinking the Kool-Aid and you believe what you're saying. I mean, the Supreme Court follows the Constitution, gives Trump immunity, and all of a sudden he's going to be the dictator. Well, he's not even the president right now. I mean, he will be in 6 months, but he's not right now. All this fear tactics, and these people actually believe it. Anyway, but I don't think they should be stuck in that phone booth either. I believe that I should be able to go face to face with a liberal, with us both being heard. And I'm confident in my arguments that I can win. And that I believe in how I believe. I believe it's right. And I don't need to prep for debate. You know, I know what I believe, so I can debate it right on the spot. But anyway, yeah. And then, you know, what happens? You know, in that town that, you know, years ago when everybody was allowed to voice their opinion and people in how they wanted stuff and people got together on both sides of the aisle and came with a plan to get through it and compromise and stuff. But when you shut one side up and the only side you want to hear is your side and you have absolutely no opposition to what you want to do, well, then you don't even make yourselves happy. And we're seeing that too. But anyway, yes, you have the right to be heard. I hope that explains it to everybody. It's about the best analogy I can come up with. Yes, you have the right to be heard, but you're not required to listen like you are in a communist or a fascist country. Okay? And that's one thing these liberals just can't stand, is that we're not forced to watch them. Okay? You know, us conservatives would rather go to a conservative channel, but YouTube won't push them. Google would rather lose money and stick with their political principles than make money. I don't understand it. The movement forward, as we can see happen in France, I believe Argentina, you know, Italy, what's going to happen in this country, and I'm sure what's going to happen in Canada. You know, Google, you keep it up, you're on the losing end. And some other company, conservative, I don't know, True Social, it's going to take you right out of it. That's another thing. You guys, you liberals doing this, you're just going to make Trump wealthier than he's ever been and more looked up to than he's ever been because he's got evil coming after him, which just makes the good in him shine. No man's perfect, but at least he tries to be. Anyway, I will be heard. I wish everybody would start a YouTube channel so they could be heard. Everybody. 150 million YouTube channels all in a month on YouTube. Let them say we're the minority. Anyway, I hope that answers that individual's question or gets him thinking differently about his comment he put. But yes, sir, even you are allowed to be heard. Okay? So, anyway, that's all I have for tonight. This Lone Wolf Prepper, out.